Hey, what's up? My name is CK with Modern Media. Thanks for joining me for this video where we're gonna cover everything that you need to start your real estate photography career. First of all, congratulations. I know that it's kind of scary to leave a job to start a career in photography, or maybe you're already a photographer and you're just kind of transitioning more to real estate side. Either way, congratulations. It's an awesome career. It's an awesome way to make a living. You're your own boss, you're your own results. So your success and failure completely hinges on you, which for me, I love that because I'm a determined, hardworking individual. And if you're of the same blood, then this is gonna be perfect for you. I love it. Let's cover the basics of what you're actually gonna need to hit the ground running and succeed pretty much from appointment one. The first one is all these are gonna kind of be obvious, but the first thing you're gonna need is a camera, a digital single reflex camera, or DSLR for the short term. When I think of a camera, this is usually what I think of, something that looks like this, but this is actually the camera. So if you haven't seen it taken apart, your camera bodies are all gonna have lens capabilities that you can change out the kind of glass that you put on. What I am gonna encourage you to do, I'm not gonna give you any sort of brand loyalty or encouragement. There's just so many great, excellent brands. This Canon 5D Mark IV was my starting camera, and I started my career with this camera. I probably can never get rid of it. And this thing is still a beast. This for sure would still be an industry standard starting camera body for real estate photography or any photography. The thing that you want to make sure that you're getting when it comes to your camera body is a full frame camera body. There are other versions like the Micro Four Thirds. You really just want to make sure that your description of your camera identifies it as a full frame camera. And a simple way to explain that, it just means the sensor in here that's capturing the image is big. And you want the bigger, which does translate to the better, because we're shooting real estate, so we want to capture as much of a scene as we can in one frame, and having a larger sensor allows you to do that. Full frame, that's really all you need to think of. Megapixel count doesn't really matter in my experience, and I can tell you this from firsthand experience. This Canon shoots at just over 30 megapixels per shot, so that's a lot of information and a lot of data and detail in a photo. This guy is a 12 megapixel camera, and you would think that that would be quite a drastic difference in your photo quality. It's not. You just have to know how to use your lens correctly and how to capture the scene with your settings in your camera correctly. And in future tutorial videos, we're gonna cover all of that, so don't sweat it. The second thing is your lens, and you're gonna have so much variety to choose from. As you kind of build and develop your obsession with, photographers just call these glass. How much glass do you have? What kind of glass are you buying? They're just talking about lens. A wide angle lens. Some people classify this by its size as a super wide. So super wide angle lens is totally fine way to describe what it is you're looking for when you go into your camera shop or you Google it. A wide angle lens though, is gonna be a lot better than kind of like your mid-range lenses, because a wide angle is gonna do exactly what it says. It's gonna give you a wider perspective, which, to reiterate, we're shooting real estate. So in a room like this, we wanna stand in a corner and we wanna be able to show pretty much what the whole room looks like. And the wider your lens is, the more of that room you're gonna be able to showcase. And I know it gets a lot more complex than that, but in the simple terms for this video, that's just what we're gonna call it. Camera body, yeah, cue the cash sound effect. The lens, cue the cash sound effect. Unfortunately, these two things are just gonna be what your bank account kind of like throws up after you make that purchase. But remember, this is an investment not only in good quality gear, it's an investment in yourself. You are gonna be using this as much as you can to be able to make your living and support your lifestyle that you want. So the return is magnificently larger than the initial cost that you put up front. So just look at it that way. All right, the third thing, this is a big one. This is super important actually. You're gonna want a camera bag. Now, this is a brand called Tinba, and I love this bag. This is a fantastic bag. I think this is my third or fourth different camera bag. And this one has been kind of just perfect for everything that I'm trying to do on a daily basis when I shoot real estate or even other stuff. Because it holds my drone, it holds 2 camera bodies, lenses, all sorts of stuff. But the real thing and the reason that you want a camera bag is obviously you need to get from your office or your room or your desk to a location where you're gonna work. And you don't just want to be carrying around your lens and your camera body freestyle because of risk of dropping, breaking, scratching, cue the list of injuries that can happen to a camera. A bag is going to ensure that you have really nice padding securing your investment and yourself. So a camera bag is definitely ideal. You'll want it. Tripods. Tripod. I wrote down tripod, but what I meant right was tripods, plural. I have so many of them. Like I've got one of my bigger honking ones for like the motion track over there. I've got a closet full of tripods. I actually have 2 tripods in my truck at all times. One of them is a nice tripod, and that's what I show up to all of my work sites with, unless I need multiple tripods and bring another one. The second one is actually just underneath my back seat in my truck. And it is literally just a life preserver. It is only if something tragic were to happen to a tripod on site. You don't want to be without a tripod, especially when it comes to real estate photography. So as you if you decide to stick around on the journey with myself through tutorials and teaching you real estate photography, you're gonna come across some other people that might be a handheld photographer for real estate. That's not my school of thought. I think you're guaranteed always a nice, crisp, beautiful image if it is stabilized on a tripod. So tripod is crazy important. And do yourself a favor and invest in a one good tripod. Because having something that has the capability of a lot of head movement, and there's all sorts of different heads that you'll be able to maybe even add to your tripod later, but just having a good set of sticks to stabilize your camera and allowing you, because there's so many times that you are going to have to position your angle, and having a good tripod really encourages that, making your job a lot easier. So a good tripod. And then if you decide that you're going to expand your horizons from just photography for real estate and actually do some video walkthroughs, which is a big deal. A lot of agents are using video. A lot of brokerages are encouraging their agents to go with video. It's just the future. It's just the way things go. You're gonna want to have a gimbal. And this is just a way to capture nice, smooth, cinematic footage. Don't even think for a second that you're gonna be delivering desirable content going handheld with your camera on site. Just trust me, we can get into more to that later, but if you're gonna be doing video, you'll want a gimbal for real estate purposes, I promise you. Okay, and then this is kind of the last real, healthy expense purchase is gonna be editing software. Obviously, you're gonna need a computer. I think most of us have computers, it's safe to say nowadays. You're not gonna be editing photography on your phone. You are gonna want some sort of actual kind of beefy machine that can operate, raw photography, which we'll cover in a tutorial video. Something where you can clearly see an image well, so a decent monitor or a good sized screen. And then the software that you are going to be using that I would encourage you to use is going to be Adobe's Lightroom. And I would encourage you to go with Adobe Lightroom Classic. The other one is just a cloud syncing based Lightroom, and I don't think is necessary for real estate photography, or really for any photography at all. I don't like it. I think Classic is just the best way to go. And then Adobe's Photoshop. Those two are pertinent. We are not going to be able to progress together through the tutorials I have planned if you do not have both of those softwares. So, and unfortunately, that's just kind of the industry standard. And Adobe makes it to where you don't just purchase the software anymore, you freaking rent it, bi-monthly or yearly. It's stupid, but you need it. And just like your cameras, it's an investment. If you're working hard, it'll pay itself off in no time. So don't sweat it. And then a third little kind of extra software that I encourage you to look into is gonna be called Luminar AI by Skylum. And this is a fantastic editing program as well. It's very similar to Lightroom as far as the functions and features that are just readily available in slider form and brush form. But this software is awesome at making exterior photos look incredible. And we'll get more into that in a tutorial, but I would say that's probably your way to go. And then if you're getting into video, I would actually discourage you from getting into Adobe Premiere Pro. I would go straight into DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro. Try to run from Premiere Pro if you can. Sorry, my dog is, you okay, buddy? I'm really starting to get a strong dislike for Premiere Pro. I feel like Premiere Pro, out of all the Adobe softwares available, I feel like Premiere, they don't care. Something goes wrong in Photoshop, that bug is fixed quickly. Something goes wrong in Premiere, I feel like those developers just open up a beer and just laugh at the complaints and the emails that come in. That's my opinion. Anyway, the next one is important, is setting up your business. So legally creating a business, which in my case, I made an LLC and I am registered with the state of Texas. I have a tax ID number and I am as legit across the board as you can possibly be. So your clients are gonna feel more comfortable knowing that they're working with a professional who took the time to establish and invest in themselves to prove to the state and people that are hiring you that you're legit, you're an official company. You could probably freelance or book a couple photography gigs that people are gonna pay cash, but you're not gonna be able to do your living without having some sort of registered version of yourself with the state. And that's going to allow you to have a lot more opportunities for bigger clients as you grow. And we'll get into more of that, but once you kind of start landing some big fish, the opportunity doors really start to open up for different avenues that just having an established business makes you a lot more credited and official. So LLC or whatever it is that you think would be best for you. And then the last thing that you're gonna need to acquire and pay for would be a website. And you can possibly get by without purchasing a .com or .net or whatever something you want it to be at. Only because there are so many digital social platforms like Instagram and Facebook that if you only wanted to utilize those, you could, but someone like me who doesn't use Facebook, if you only had a Facebook business page, I don't even know if I can view it without being a Facebook customer. So I encourage you to get a website because then that is where you can host all your presentations. So like for me, I use my website and on page one, my Instagram feed is just directly there. So I can use Instagram as my portfolio holder, but then it's displayed on my .com. And it's the exact same thing for my YouTube. So where I post all of my video walkthrough content, I have a playlist generated for all those walkthroughs. That is also on page one. So if a client needs to go see a carousel of my work at just a quick glance, they can literally go to page one at Modern Media and boom, they can make a decision from there. And as far as the financials and the things that you're gonna have to buy, that's it. And I know that's a lot. And yeah, like we said, it's an investment, but you're investing in yourself. And now probably the most important thing out of all of them, you gotta practice. Now that you have all of your equipment and now that you're ready to go, you have to practice. You have to know your camera inside and out. Don't think that you don't. It is so important that you may come across a moment where a client is asking for something very specific that if you just knew more about your internal workings of your camera or what your lens is or is not capable of capturing, a client can ask for something and then you can deliver. But there's nothing like being on site and a client asks for something and you either say you can't or you have to scramble to figure out how to do it. So practice, practice, practice. Real estate, you live somewhere, right? Practice there. In my case, I have a home that I literally went to every single room and I have shot this house so many times. And I did that over and over and over. I have plans of making quite a healthy catalog of tutorial videos all about real estate photography and all about real estate video. And so if you want to subscribe to the channel so you can stay informed with that bit of information as it comes along, please do. And then of course, if you want to like this video so the algorithm can pick it up and start encouraging more brand new professionals to the real estate photography world like yourself, then boom, they'll be able to see this video and get excited just like I'm excited for you all. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will just catch you all in the tutorials. All right, take it easy.